Okay, there we are. I can see my fat self. So.
Not looking too bad.
Yeah, I gotta shave. Looking a little grizzly. Anyway.
Too hot for that shit, man.
It is way too hot for this shit. Fucking 4th of July is supposed to be over 100 degrees.
Yeah. I'm not going out.
I am.
Actually, no. I got a drinking party to go to.
Oh, nice. Anyway.
I have to
regardless of our useless shit right at the moment, welcome to yet again a wonderful episode of Nhhf Horror Freaks. This is episode 21.
You know what I just realized?
What?
It's exactly a week. Isn't it a week since the last one?
Yes.
We are actually doing it. Yay.
We're on time. We're actually on time. Anyway, again, episode 21. Woo! We're getting somewhere. Anyway, we have some wonderful reviews. JJ, what do you got going on this week for us?
I got Scream, and I found out we did Blair Witch Project back in episode 8.
Yes.
So I'm doing Blair Witch
2 Book of Shadows. And I'm doing from 1985, Return of the Living Dead, and from 2014, brand new film, Escape from Tomorrow.
Actually, I do want to really watch that.
I'm not going to go into how much I like or dislike this movie. Just
you really like it.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
I hate when you do this. I already know what the answer is.
Do you?
No.
Didn't think so. Obviously, we have our top 5 list, our artist of the week, which is going to be a fun one to talk about. And we also have our comparison, which we will be talking about the original Hills Have Eyes versus the remake from
2006.
I was going to say 2005, 2000s, between 2005 and 2007.
Mid-2000s.
Yeah. Anyhow, shall we start with the list?
Yes.
Why don't you start this time? Because I think I started last time.
Okay. So.
Oh, yes. What is our list this time?
Oh. Top 5 grisliest deaths.
The goriest kills. And there was a lot. Like, I thought of actually a bunch afterward. Like, I'm going to give some honorable mentions here. Have you seen the movie Suicide Club from Japan?
No.
Dude, the mass suicide in that is so fucking gory.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really gory.
It's terrible.
Let's see what else. Crap, I had a whole bunch actually. Human Centipede, the first one, with the final scene where the one chick in the middle is the only one left. That was pretty bad. Of course, Megan is Missing, which you guys know how much I love talking about that movie. With the barrel kill where she's buried alive.
That's terrible.
I mean, you don't see anything, but just the idea of being buried alive. And
in a barrel with your dead friend.
Yeah, your best friend who's already been dead for God only knows how long. Yeah, that's pretty rank. Okay, anyway. Go for it. Number 5.
Number 5. I'm going to go with Escape from the Silence of the Lambs. When he...
Oh, when Lecter escapes.
Yes.
And he bites the dude's nose off.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty.
It ends up
that was pretty fucking gory.
That's pretty gruesome, but you don't see much blood or anything. Like you see it around his mouth, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean.
It's still the fact of getting your nose chewed off.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost even go with Buffalo Bill's kill, or Buffalo Bob, whatever the fuck his name was. You know, where he skins the girl. You could have gone with that. You could have gone with actually a lot of the Hannibal Lecter films. Like you could have gone with Manhunter, where the guy's got the victim tied up to the wheelchair. He sets him on fire. I mean, there's a lot that you can.
I didn't see that one.
Dude, another one is where he actually, I think it was in Hannibal, where he cuts the guy's top of his skull off and he starts cooking the guy's brain and makes him eat it. I was like, that was a pretty fucked up kill.
That's messed.
Okay, number 4.
Alright, number 4, I'm going with Meat Hook from Texas Chainsaw.
The original Texas Chainsaw, that fucking meat hook scene where she just gets pulled up on that. That's fucking gory.
Ugh.
I mean, again, not a lot of blood because you don't really see anything.
No, but it's
up there. Yeah. I mean, it's even to this day. I mean, what 40 plus years later.
Did they do a recreation scene in the new one?
I don't know if they did it in the newest one, the Texas Chainsaw 3D, but I know they did in the Jessica Biel version that was done back in 2007. Because I've seen that one. I just haven't seen 3D yet. I gotta get off my ass and see that one. That's definitely on my list to see. Number 3.
Shotgun. I spit on your grave. When she shoves the shotgun up his ass and
pulls
fires.
the fucking trigger. Yeah, that's a great one. And that's from the remake, not the original.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that was part of the original.
If it was, then
I definitely forgotten. Number 2.
The rotator trip from Saw 3.
Oh, with the guy who was a drunk driver, killed the other guy's daughter.
Yeah.
And he had the opportunity to save him, but the thing just kept cranking, and then he like bones split and ripped his arm off, and then it started up on the next one.
Right.
And eventually it took his head off. Yeah. That was a fucked up death.
Just
That definitely ranks up there as one of the best. See, we could do just a fucking list on saw traps. 7 movies. There's been a lot of traps.
A lot of grisly ones. Some I can't even watch.
There's only one that I can think of off the top of my head that I can't.
Probably the same one I'm thinking of.
The Pit of Needles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate the Pit of Needles. Like, I can deal with almost anything else. And what was your number 1?
Sunken Bed from the Nightmare on Elm Street.
With our wonderful Artist of the Week.
Yep.
Which I'm sure people have figured out who it is by now.
It's Johnny Depp.
It is.
And gets sunk into the bed, and then blood spurts, and then that's
everywhere,
just gory.
Everywhere. It is. I mean, it's not like super gory like the shit from today, but
no, it doesn't show like bone marrow and other, but it's still the fact that he got cracked up.
So I'm up. And
what you got?
Number 5, a film that you and I both absolutely love, a Serbian film.
Skullfuck.
With the Skullfuck.
Skullfuck.
With the Skullfuck kill.
I knew you were gonna do it.
It's
can't resist.
I've actually got a lot of dick-heavy kills.
What is it with you and penises?
I don't know. They're just fun to talk about, I guess.
Because you don't have one. Oh.
I'm married, bitch. What's your excuse? I get to use it.
I'm younger. I don't need to be married.
Nah, you need Viagra. That's what you need.
It's terrible.
Anyway, number 4. August Underground Mortem, which is the second part of the trilogy, and it's the rape kill.
Oh, goodness.
In this, they kidnap a couple, and they've got the girl, and they rape her, and they've got the boyfriend locked up in this makeshift coffin, and they keep screaming at him that they're going to kill her unless he cuts his own dick off with a pair of mustache scissors. And then once doing so, he bleeds to death, and then they rape her with the severed organ.
That is nasty.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to review that movie at a point. I actually got to meet Fred Vogel. I got his autograph.
That's grisly. Ugh.
Number 3D. Number 3D. That actually works because it's from a 3D movie. Piranha 3D. The Scalping by Boat.
Oh.
Where she gets the hair caught in the propeller, and the guy just keeps revving, and then
you know what I thought?
Rips her whole face right off.
You know what I was thinking?
Huh?
Since you said I got a lot of dick ones, I thought you were talking about the guy where he got his dick not off.
I was tempted. I was really tempted. Like, that one was up there.
Like, it's the dick one. Just watch.
It was up there with that one. The propeller taking the scalp.
Yeah.
Or actually,
I didn't even think of that movie. That's
the black guy, the deputy who got eaten.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it was between those, but for some reason the scalping one just always sticks with me more than the dick one. Number 2, House of 1,000 Corpses.
Okay.
The Alligator Boy. There's a scene where they've got all the people in the house and they're finally start torturing them and killing them, and they got this one guy, I think his name was Bill. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. And they actually take from his torso up and they sew it and taxidermy it to the bottom part of an alligator and literally make an alligator boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's fucked. And they like show him, like cutting his hand off and everything. Alright, my number 1, I've talked about this movie so many times and it's probably like one of the greatest exploitation films to come out of Italy. It was banned in like 40 countries.
Yeah, because they actually thought people died in it,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Cannibal Holocaust, the impalement through the vagina.
Ugh.
At first, like when I saw it, I thought it was through her ass, but no, they actually go up her vaginal canal and it eventually comes out through her mouth and she slowly bleeds to death and dies. It's
terrible.
So realistic looking, it's so gory. Like, I still, to this day, when I watch Cannibal Holocaust, I cringe. It's like one of the most fucked up movies that I've seen. Alright, so that's our top 5 list. Yeah!
Oh, sleep well tonight.
Yeah, if none of this shit fucking creeped you out, just wait till we get to our movies.
Oh.
Alright, so, you want to start this or shall I?
I'll start it.
Alright, cool. Go for it.
So I'm gonna go with Scream for my first.
From
1998? 97?
I think it's 98, yeah. I think it's 98.
That's good. Either way.
Now, were you lucky enough to see this in the theater, or did you have to wait?
In 98, I was in first grade.
Oh, so you were young when this came out.
I was a wee little boy, and my cousin, my parents, or my cousins, my aunt, whatever,
Yep.
bought it right
nice.
out.
Nice.
And so my parents and her husband were watching it, and my cousin's like, she's a little bit older than me.
Okay.
She's the one I was talking about that's all into horror.
Oh, yeah. But
She's
not
like-
into, like, classic shit.
Right.
Like when you start talking, like, 50s and...
Right.
before that.
So she'll like pull me along. She's like, "Hey, you gotta watch this." And as a kid, I don't know any better. So I'm like, "Okay." And we sat down.
Were you terrified?
No,
Really?
I watched it and I was like, "Oh, this is funny."
You
Whatever.
weren't, like, jumping, you weren't freaked out?
I probably freaked out once, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
And eventually, though, my mom noticed that we were sitting in front of the TV. We weren't supposed to see it because we're kids.
Oh, no!
So she kicked us out, but we sent back in and watched it through.
Nice. So,
But, yeah.
obviously, the premise of Scream...
Being a girl stuck at home by herself, very cliche.
finds out that there's a slasher going
Going
around.
around killing people.
And this brings up the horror movie cliches, the rules of horror movies.
Yep.
You don't do drugs, drink, or have sex because you'll die. Never say "I'll be right back" because you'll die.
Yep.
And
won't come back.
there's actually a couple of things that weren't brought up in that, and I'm going to bring them up right now.
Okay.
Number one, if you're a black chick,
You're gonna die.
you're probably gonna, or if you're a black guy, you're probably gonna die.
Right.
If you're a slutty chick, you're probably gonna die.
If you're a
And
shark, you're
if
probably gonna die.
If you're a slutty black chick,
You're most likely gonna die.
you're probably a fan of Snoop Dogg. But anyway,
Anywho, so I'm sure they've seen this movie.
obviously
you've
it's
seen
been
this movie,
parodied
I've seen this movie.
numerous times.
Scary movie.
It's not only Scary Movie, but you also have Shriek, I Know What You Did Last Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Which actually came out before Scary Movie, and actually I think it's the better of the two films.
Okay.
If you ever get the chance to see it, yeah.
I'll have to watch it.
I know it was on Netflix for a long time. I think it might even still be on Netflix.
Actually, I do have a fun fact.
Okay. It was originally supposed to be called Scary Movie.
Yeah, it's originally supposed to be called Scary
As soon as
Movie.
you said fun fact, I started thinking, I'm like, okay, what fun facts do I know? I'm like, oh, I know this.
Yep. That's my fun fact.
Did you know that at the time of filming, David Arquette and Courtney Cox were married?
Yes. I knew that.
So another fun fact.
They got divorced though.
Yep.
And the third one, they were divorced, or second one, they were
I
divorced.
think the second one. But anyway,
Continuing on. So, what do you think?
obviously it's a basic slasher. They tried to bring back the idea of Michael Myers and Jason in the 90s, and
But they made
it was the end.
kind of
it was
popular.
the end of slashers, and yeah, it definitely became popular because we've got 3 sequels. Because Saw 4 and Saw 5 Saw 5. Scream 5 is in production right now.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh boy.
There's going to be a secondary trilogy. Originally, it was supposed to be remade. But
They can't. Why would they remake a movie that came out less than 15 years ago?
why not? They're doing it from Japan. Ring You came out, and then boom, we get The Ring right after. They did the same thing with The Grudge.
Yeah, but that's just it. Scream movie. Scream is an
See,
original.
I'm not the only one.
Is an original American film, not a remake of Japan.
Yeah, well, apparently they think that it needs a remake.
We're gonna remake a movie that's only been out for 15 years, and you can still find brand new on DVD.
Oh, that reminds me, speaking of DVD, I did have a little piece of horror news that I forgot all about.
What?
For fans of Clive Barker, including myself, finally, after decades of asking for this, Nightbreed, the complete uncut version that Clive Barker originally filmed, the Cabal cut, is finally hitting DVD and Blu-ray. Finally.
I'm jealous.
So let's see, from 90, 2000, 2010. Dude, almost 15 years that we've been asking
It's okay. The movie I've been wanting to see.
Or let me rephrase that.
Been on lockup since the mid '80s.
25 years. Sorry, 25 years.
The movie I've been waiting to see. It's been on lockup for easily 20 years, 25 years, and that's Trucks.
Oh jeez, there's a movie.
The Stephen King movie.
There's a movie I haven't fucking thought of in a long time.
And they won't release. They didn't release it. They released it in theaters. They didn't release it on VHS because it was too gory or too.
I've seen it on VHS.
I've never seen it on VHS.
Yeah, I used to have it on VHS. I don't know if I still got it or not.
Either way, I've never seen it. My dad talks about it, but he says it's they won't release it because it's of something that's
yeah, I've seen that movie. Anyway.
Anyway.
So, what did you think of Scream? Like looking back on it, did it still hold up?
I don't want to be alright. My views might be a little bit out there because I'm nostalgic. Because it's probably potentially my first horror movie.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of holds a special place because of that factor.
So I don't want putting that aside as much as I can. It holds up for the fact that it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I rewatched it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
And as a kid, I remember it being a little more scary, but I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely full of quote unquote horror cliches.
Which they acknowledge.
Yes, they come straight out and they talk about that quite openly.
I don't know, 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10? I'm going to be the first person to say I was lucky enough to see this in the theater when it came out.
Okay.
And it was definitely not my first horror film, which we've mentioned numerous times. I will say I just watched this recently and I felt that it didn't hold up.
No?
I really remember it being a much more entertaining movie when I was younger than I do now. And when I watched it recently, I actually found myself very bored with the film. Which isn't a good thing because I like Wes Craven's work. I loved the Nightmare on Elm Street series. I liked stuff like Red Eye, which I thought was great. Cursed, his werewolf film, I thought was really, really entertaining.
Okay.
But for this, I don't know, it just didn't sit right for me. It felt forced almost. And I just think that maybe if he had kept it more in the horror realm and trying to bring it into, the real world, quote unquote, then maybe it would have been more entertaining. But I actually am going to give it a 3 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely a movie I will...
Like I said, my eyes are probably tainted because of nostalgia.
Yeah, maybe. Alright, well, I'm going to actually start with the newest film from 2014, and that is Escape from Tomorrow. I don't know if you guys can see the cover or not, but this is such a cool cover. It's just a bloody Mickey Mouse hand. This film shouldn't even exist. It was all guerrilla filmed in Disneyland and Disney World without anyone's knowledge. When it came out, there was a lawsuit and they wanted the film destroyed, but fans riled for this film. And I finally watched the film and I understand why. This is a fucking masterpiece. It's so dark and disturbing, and they actually go into a lot of urban legends about Disney. Like when you buy a turkey leg, it's actually not a turkey leg, it's fucking emu. And the puppets in the small world are actually kids. But it's about a guy who he gets fired from his job while on vacation.
Ouch.
And his wife and him are having problems. Well, he becomes infatuated with these two 14 or 15-year-old girls from, is it Paris? Or are they Armenian or something? I forget. It says it.
I'll tell you when I find it. Oh, Parisians?
Oh, so they're Persians.
Yeah.
Okay. But he starts having these weird visions and everything, and they can't actually say Walt Disney. When they finally do say Walt Disney in the film, they actually blank it out. But it's a black and white acid trip. And it's not an acid trip that's enjoyable. I mean, this is a fucked up movie.
So it's kind of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Dude, it's way more fucked up than that.
Because that was pretty messed up. Some of that.
I mean, the twist at the end is almost like if you're watching Fight Club for the first time. It's that messed up. Like, you do not see this ending coming. And I'm gonna say right now, like I said, this movie's a fucking masterpiece. You haven't watched this yet.
No.
You have to see this.
I have to.
This movie, it's past a 10. This is the first time I'm going past the 10 rating.
11.
It's an 11.
11 out of 10.
It's an 11.
110%.
No, I'm serious, dude. This might beat out Nosferatu on how fucking good it is. And this is coming from somebody who that's been his favorite horror movie since he was a kid. I cannot say enough good stuff. And I'll tell you what.
Can you say one bad thing?
One bad thing. It is a little long.
It's a 10.
I don't mind that it's long though.
So? It's still saying that it's a little bit long, still proceeds that has a fault, and which makes it a 10.
It's a masterpiece.
It's 10 out of 10.
No, it's 11. Fuck you, it's 11.
10 out of 10.
It's 11, fuck you.
11 is flawless.
It is flawless.
You just said it's a bit long.
But I don't mind it.
So other people do.
Well, I'm gonna understand. Like some people who watch this are gonna hate this movie. Does it say how long it is?
I'm looking. Continue talking. I'll find it.
I'm done talking, Dick Stain.
Oh, 90 minutes. So it's a regular running time.
Yeah. So
An hour and a
maybe it
half.
is a little flawed then, and it just seems a little long. All right, so it's a 10. So you were right. Fuck you.
I like being right.
So it's a 10. It's still a fucking masterpiece.
It's an awesome movie either way.
It's a great fucking movie.
And I'll have to watch it.
All right, you're up.
Okay. This is the one I've been dreading.
From 2001.
Blair Witch Project 2, The Book of Shadows.
Which takes a great premise of the Blair Witch, a found footage film.
Which really kicked out the whole found footage genre off.
I don't think it kicked it off because Cannibal Holocaust, I say it kicks it off.
But it definitely brought it to the limelight more.
Yeah, it definitely brought it into the media.
And then you got all the
paranormal activity and this.
No. You got all the stuff that happened afterwards, New Jersey, and the people suing each other.
Oh yeah.
All that bullcrap. But nonetheless,
oh excuse me.
the first one is a pretty good movie. A bit aged,
love the first
but
one.
it's a good movie. The second one is a Hollywood shithole.
Yeah, because they, like I said, they take a great premise, and then they decide we're gonna make a legitimate movie out of it instead of a follow-up.
It's a freaking Hollywood touched it and they ruined it.
It was
just like Hollywood ruins everything else.
It was you know what? We're gonna make it so that it's fans of the movie actually searching for the Blair Witch. They then become cursed by the witch, and all kinds of shit starts happening, like big old orgy, and people start killing each other, and the movie is fucked up, and it's not fucked up in a good way.
I think there's one recognizable actor.
There's one reason. There's
that.
one reason to watch that movie, and
To laugh at?
that's your reason.
No, but I mean.
My reason is the redheaded goth chick.
All right.
The only reason
she was pretty.
The only reason I get through that movie is because my penis tells me to. He's like, you can do this.
That orgy scene. You can do it.
He's like,
she's in it.
He's like, you love this chick. She's hot. You can do this.
I hate to see what she looks like now, though. After it's been
2001.
It's been 13 years.
13 years.
So
Yeah.
in that movie, she's probably what, 23? Maybe. So she's in her 30s.
Yeah, but 30's not bad.
Depends on how well she's spent those 30s.
Yeah, I mean,
30s.
Women age one of two ways. They age like wine and they get more refined.
They age like milk.
Or they age like milk.
Anywho,
what do you give this giant hunk of crap? Oh, one redeeming quality actually about this movie, the DVD did come with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack was pretty good.
soundtrack was pretty awesome.
It had some good metal songs.
So for that fact, probably only for that fact, it gets a 2 out of 10.
A 2 out of 10. You're definitely giving it better credit even with
One out of 10, aren't you?
No.
0.
0.5.
25.
I fucking hate this movie. I was actually gifted this movie for my birthday.
I'm sorry.
On VHS when it first came out. My Aunt Paula, who lives out in California, who lives, by the way, on Hollywood Boulevard, or used to. She doesn't anymore.
That's interesting.
She knew how much of a horror junkie I was, saw that it was a new release, and figured, oh, he doesn't have it, which I didn't. Sent it out. I didn't see it in the theater. I did see Blair Witch 1 in the theater, though, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was all excited because I'm like, oh my god, a Blair Witch 2. And I loved the first one. And then I watched it and I'm like, what the flying fuck? And I was so pissed. The movie was a giant, steaming pile of monkey shit.
I saw the second one before I saw the first one.
Let me put it this way. That monkey shit wouldn't even do a number 2 on this movie.
No,
that's how bad this movie is.
I saw the second one first, and I didn't really care much about it. So when I heard the Blair Witch 1, I'm like, Blair Witch 2 sucked. And as a younger one, I was like, Blair Witch 2 sucks, so the first one probably really sucks. And then my uncle was watching it.
Yes.
And so I sat and watched it with him, and I'm like, this is not that bad. And I asked him, I'm like, what is this? He's like, oh, it's Blair Witch Project. I'm like,
The Blair Witch Project 1, I will highly recommend to anyone who likes found footage horror films. Blair Witch 2, if somebody comes up to me and says, "Oh my god, Blair Witch 2," I only know maybe like 2 people who actually like this movie a lot. And I tell them every time, I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot for liking this
I could see the only reason someone liking this is for nostalgic reasons.
Dude, I would rather pull my eyes out with a rusty spoon.
You remember the hidden footage? Or
Yes.
The scenes that you missed and
Yes.
they weren't actually in the movie.
Yes, I do.
Such a scam.
Dude, it was
I was so pissed when I found that out.
Fucking dump hole movie. Such a dump hole.
So that's what we think about Blair Witch Project 2.
Yes. Burn it. Put it in a landfill.
Take your copy and go put it in the ET landfill that they found last month.
Oh, did they find it?
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
in Arizona.
That's awesome. Alright, so I'm up with the movie from 1985. Now, have you ever seen Return of the Living Dead?
Perhaps, but it's certainly been a while.
Dude, when you talk punk rock horror movies, you can't not talk about Return of the Living Dead. You have... It claims to be a punk rock soundtrack, but it's really early goth and almost death rock.
Okay.
I mean, you got bands like Christian Death, 45 Graves, The Damned, and you get death rockers, punkers, goths. I mean, you get the whole, alternate culture in this movie. And this movie comes up, and this kid Freddy, he's gone into work at a medical supply store.
Okay.
Or company.
Okay.
Well, as he's working, he finds out from his supervisor that Night of the Living Dead was actually based on real events. The government created some kind of chemical that reanimated corpses.
Okay.
Well, of course, they want to, go and check them out. What happens when you go and check out something you shouldn't? It opens, and of course, there's a bunch of corpses in these canisters. We get introduced to a horror icon with the Mudman zombie. And we're also, fun fact about this little movie, it is the first zombie movie to, quote, say, brains. First zombie flick to do that. That is the reason.
Yay! You created a cliche.
You did. Return of the Living Dead has gone on to make several sequels. You've got, obviously, Part 2, then you've got Rave to the Grave, oh god, I'm trying to remember the other one. City of the Dead, I think, was another one.
Yep.
I haven't seen all of them. I did see Rave to the Grave. Part 3 wasn't bad. That was like when they decided we're actually going to go more horror than horror comedy. Part 1 is still the best. Like, I love this movie, and I'm so glad that our fan from New Zealand asked us to review this, because I hadn't seen the movie in years. It had probably been a good, 15 years since I'd seen it. This movie still holds up with how awesome it is. It's so much fun to watch. It's not super scary. It definitely is over-the-top gore. And there is a punk chick. I can't think of the actress's actual name. She's, the female version of Bruce Campbell.
Oh, my goodness.
She's in that many B-rate films. But she danced naked in a cemetery in, the first 20 minutes.
Yay, naked chick.
Dude, and she's hot.
And talk about a hot woman unusually. I think it's the summer's getting to us.
Dude, I'm going to say right now that me being a young kid discovering punk music and really getting into the scene, I remember seeing this movie for the first time. I was 8 or 9 years old, and I was first getting into, the classic punk scene. I had a denim vest with all these patches on it, and I had my first mohawk and everything. And my dad, who introduced me to punk rock, was like, "Oh, you've got to see this movie." And I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" And it was Return of the Living Dead. He rented it at Video Choice. Do you remember Video Choice?
I remember Video Choice.
And we sat down. I think I watched that movie in a weekend. I think I watched it a dozen times because I just loved it that much. And I think that the character of Trash was one of my first quote-unquote crushes. I loved the character. And even when she gets zombified, I loved her. The end is great too. The military actually nukes the city, right?
Okay.
Burning all the corpses, and the gas from said corpses actually flows up into the clouds, causing a thunderstorm. The thunderstorm travels to another graveyard, rains, and guess what happens?
Rise of the Return of the Living Dead.
Again.
Yay.
Now, have you seen this movie?
From what you've been saying, yes.
But it's probably been a while.
It's
right?
been a while, but
Okay.
yes, I remember seeing it.
Okay, cool.
And from what my collective memory that I've seen, it's like an 8 or a 9. It looked really
Yeah, I mean,
interestingly awesome.
Even like you look at it, you can certainly tell that it's a film made in the '80s, but it's really in the vein of Peter Jackson's. I can't say it was his first film. I don't think it was his first anyway, but it was probably one of his better-known films at the time. Dead Alive, which is a great zombie film if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
There's a kung fu priest and a dismemberment by lawnmower. I mean, it's so fucked up, but it's such a great movie. So you're gonna give it an 8 or a 9?
An 8.
An 8.
I'll give it an 8 because I haven't.
Actually, I'm right there with you. I mean, I can't give it a full 10 because it is
more comedy.
Well, not even so much that, like, because I don't mind that with this particular movie.
Okay.
I'm giving it the 8 because, like I said, you can certainly tell it's a movie from the 80s. It has a lot of dated references. So that's why, especially when you see a guy walking around a party with a boombox. Dude, who the fuck has a boombox anymore?
I don't know, Michael Winslow might.
Yeah, he might.
Because he did that one scene and
That's true. That's very true.
a few scenes with a boombox, so he might.
He might still have it. So I'm sure somebody out there in Hollywood has got, fucking one hanging around somewhere.
I bet you someone has that one.
That would be awesome, actually.
Like some Hollywood guys, like, this is the boombox from the Return of the Living Dead.
I bet it's actually the guy who was in the movie, because a lot of times they get to keep props or costumes and whatnot. I'll bet you that he's got it. Just to say, this is one of the props of a movie I was in. But, yeah, I give it an 8. Alright, so that brings us into our comparison.
Yay!
The Hills Have Eyes.
I like the new one.
Made by Wes Craven, who did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Who did a lot of other freaky stuff.
Also, Last House on the Left, which we talked about last week.
Yes.
Now, the newer one, the remake, definitely shows more of that inbred and the deformities from the radiation. And I think that the new one is far more violent. But the original just had that eerie atmosphere, and it had Michael... Fuck, what is his name? I can't think of his name. He's a huge horror actor. He's been in a ton of shit.
Oh, okay.
And he's like he's the guy on the cover. He's got kind of a... I don't want to sound rude because I've met the guy, and he's a very, very nice gentleman. He actually allowed me to get a picture with him at Rock and Shock 2012 while he was on his way to the bathroom. I happened to see him.
Oh, right.
I happened to see him, and I stopped him. I'm like, hey, can I get a picture? And he's like, I'll be more than glad to, but I really have to use the bathroom. He went in and used the bathroom, and he came back out, and he actually was like, all right, let's do this. And I was like, wow, he didn't charge me or nothing. It was fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
He's a really, really nice guy. Really nice guy. He would probably rank up there, nice guy wise, with Lawrence R. Harvey, with how nice he is to talk to. Very, very nice gentleman.
Anywho, continuing on.
But this is so hard because I like both films. I really, really do. I'm gonna have to go original with this, just because the original to me was more of a creep fest horror film, whereas the new one is like, all right, let's just see how much blood and gore and rape and shit we can get into these movies.
I like the new one because that's the one I've seen most recently, I guess. And the old one has been, I might have seen it, but it's definitely been a long time.
Okay.
And the new one's more fresher in my mind, so I'll stick with the new one.
Alright, so we differ on this, but that's fine. We usually do on this shit. Alright, so that brings us into our Artist of the Week. Which we've already
we gave away earlier, unusually enough.
Is Johnny Depp, who... A lot of people are like, oh, he hasn't done any horror movies. Let's name some. Not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 1.
Yep. The Secret Window.
Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Then we have Dark Shadows, which is a horror comedy. Then we have which you and I were just talking about, a remake to Lawnmower Man that he was in called Transcendence.
Transcendence, which I don't consider more of a horror movie from what I read, but it could be.
I'm saying cyberpunk horror,
crazy.
which I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I haven't seen it.
And I guess you could say Edward Scissorhands has kind of a horror aspect to it for very morbid.
We could go into a lot of them. I mean, some of his cartoon work that he's done, like Corpse Bride, has horror aspect. If you wanted to go into Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
that was very creepy, just in general.
I love that version compared to Gene Wilder.
I like the Gene Wilder version because
it's so
like
bad. It's so bad.
But the new one is definitely closer to the story.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
will admit that. It's way closer to the story. But one thing that no one's done yet.
The fact that Christopher Lee's in the new version too makes it awesome because he plays Willy Wonka's dad.
Yeah, I know. But still, neither of them have done something. They haven't done a sequel. Great Glass Elevator.
I guess Tim Burton had talked about doing it, but he really doesn't do sequels. Like he's really.
I know he doesn't do sequels, but that's just
really,
it needs to happen.
Yeah, but I mean.
I will do one.
Dude, it's taking.
But I can't do CGI.
30 years to do a sequel of fucking Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So.
We'll see.
And we found out that he's doing the sequel to Alice in Wonderland. He's doing Through the Looking Glass.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited about.
Wait, that would be his first sequel, wouldn't it?
No, his first sequel was Batman Returns. From 91.
With Val Kilmer.
No.
No?
That was also Michael Keaton.
Was it?
Yes, that was the one with Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito. And Christopher Walken played the mayor.
You're right. Okay.
Yep. Why are you playing with my debit card?
Because it's a debit card and I like to play with it.
Put my fucking debit card back.
I'm gonna steal your money.
Too bad that one doesn't work anymore.
Aww.
It's
that's why I'm playing with, because it's old.
Now, looking even outside of his horror stuff.
Okay.
You look at his TV series, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Then you've got stuff like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, which did have some horror imagery in it. Some very Cthulhu, Lovecraftian imagery. Yeah. You have Ed Wood, the biopic.
I never watched that.
Which was a great movie. I actually have that downstairs. Benny and June, which was really good. Crybaby, Blow.
He's been in everything.
Oh, he's got so many projects going. And he's rumored to be in Kevin Smith's new horror film, Tusk.
Yeah.
Which, if he is, I'm really excited because I am looking forward to Tusk greatly, and I want to see it so bad.
So, okay, we'll do two favorites. What's your favorite him horror movie? Him in a horror movie. A horror-esque movie.
That's a tough one. And you know what? Even though I haven't seen it, I just think that it's gonna be my favorite.
Tusk.
I'm gonna say Transcendence because I love Lawnmower Man and I love cyberpunk, so I think that it's gonna be that one. Not that I disliked any of the other ones because I love all the other ones, but I'm thinking it's gonna be.
Mine is The Secret Window,
which is a great one.
No, what's your favorite his movie?
Outside?
In general.
Oh, in general.
Like above all, because mine's different.
I'm really torn between two.
Okay.
I'm torn between Benny and June because it's a wonderful love story and I really, really enjoy the movie because it's very kooky. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, just because I'm such a huge fan of Tim Burton as well as the director of this particular biopic, I think I'm going to have to lean more to that. I'm going to have to say Ed Wood.
Okay. I say Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I think that was a great movie.
It's a good movie.
If you read the book, it's very close. And even some of the stuff that, I mean, Hunter S. Thompson was in the movie.
Yes.
And there's even some things in the movie that weren't in the book that were supposed to be in the movie but were cut because of editing reasons.
Yep.
So I think as a movie, it is the best book to movie transition.
Oh wow, that's a whole other topic. We'll have to get into that.
I will defend that fact. But either way,
dude, there's a lot. There's a lot.
I know there's a lot.
I mean, I can
tell you the worst.
Go.
Twilight. Boom.
Just because you don't like the movie.
I had to take the shot.
I mean, if you've read the book and then watched the movie, it's actually not that far off.
I've actually never read the book.
So you can't complain then.
No, I can't. I just didn't like the movie.
I can give or take. I mean, I didn't hate it. Like, if I look at it as a vampire and werewolf fic, then yeah, I hate it. But if I look
That's
at
how
it,
I looked at it.
If I look at it as a tween romance, it's not a bad movie.
I don't like tween romances.
I'm not a big fan, but I didn't hate
Either way.
it.
Continuing.
I didn't hate it.
So, either way, I love Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
So,
I grew up with him because my mom absolutely loves him. I actually bought her a Sweeney Todd poster, and she's got it framed, and I don't think she's actually got it hung up anymore. She had it hung up in her bedroom for a long time. But, oh well. Alright, so that's episode 21.
Awesome.
Look forward to episode 22, which you will be reviewing.
Shit. It, and then there's a living. I almost want to say, isn't it the Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
The 2005, the remake.
Yep.
And I'm going to be doing 1943's actual remake, Universal's own remake of The Phantom of the Opera, starring Claude Rains, not Lon Chaney. So there is a difference. And if I recall correctly, the film is actually quite different too. And I'm also doing 1977, Dario Argento's fucking masterpiece, according to everybody else. It's been years since I've seen this film, so I have no idea if I'm gonna feel that way when I watch it. Suspiria.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to both.
It's gonna be interesting.
It is gonna be interesting because I haven't seen Suspiria in fucking years. I think the last time I was probably 10 years old, and I'm now 26. It's a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And,
I know we got an interesting top 5. We got interesting people to talk about.
We do. And hopefully I'll have a book review because I'm almost done with that book, I think.
Okay.
The one that I showed you and you looked really interested. So hopefully I have a good review, and hopefully the ending won't kill the book.
That always kills a book for me.
Yeah, if the ending sucks, forget it. That's why I disliked the book It when I finished it the first time. Hated the fucking spider at the end. Hated it. I chucked my copy across the room, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I've read it, and it was like all this time spent in a book that's like this fucking thick.
Yeah, but I'll be the first one to say that I tend to zone out when reading Stephen King after page 2 billion.
I do too. I actually have to go back and read it because then I forget what I just read.
I think the only ones that I didn't have that problem with was the Dark Tower series. Fucking loved those books.
I don't have a problem with any other writer, just Stephen King.
He's one of those writers where he's just like, and to me anyway, it feels like he just drags on things. And
this is why I write short stories.
And you and I have talked about this numerous times, where Stephen King, since he got hit by the car and stopped drinking, that he is the epitome of a broken clock being right twice a day.
No. He's still making money, so he's got to be doing something right.
He is. Do you have anything left to add?
Nope, I don't think so.
I can't think of anything either.
Nothing news-wise.
I can't think of anything either. So, I guess that's all. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday for 4th of July. And for our Canadian viewers, today is your Independence Day, so I'm hoping...
Happy Canada Day!
I'm hoping that you're enjoying that. Or at least I believe it is. I think that's what my wife said.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So again, I hope that you all enjoy that. Don't get too smashed. Which I know you're planning on doing this weekend.
I'm not getting smashed. I'm probably going to have a couple beers and watch everybody else get smashed, because that's funner.
Yeah, bullshit.
No, I'm serious. The last drinking party I went to, I had 2 beers. Everybody else got drunk. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Dude, you're going to get shit-faced. I know you. It's going to be so hot that you're going to just keep chugging fucking beers.
Yeah. I don't want any.
You'll be like my fucking wedding, probably. Just fucking...
I didn't have a beer at your wedding. I had a few wines and some rum.
And some rum and some margarita and...
Oh my god, I was so drunk.
Dude, you were fucked.
I wasn't drunk enough not to remember it though, because I remember it very well.
Dude, the fact that you fucking woke me up at 4:30 in the morning to drive you home after I had been up all day.
My truck was sitting outside. Drinking. I could have drove home, but I was more in a realization to know that I couldn't drive home.
If I heard your fucking truck start up, I would have fucking ran out there bollocky bare ass as I was and beat the hell out of you.
So be thankful that I woke you up. Because
Yeah.
it probably saved my ass.
Yeah, your mom fucking would have killed me if anything happened to your
Mom would have killed me. I would have gotten home, if I got home at all, I would have gotten home and she'd be like, how'd you get home? Like, I drove. She'd be like, what?
Yeah, she would have beat you in the belt. She would have made you go out in the woods and pick out your own switch.
It's terrible, but
For all of our older viewers who actually know what a switch is,
yeah, if you don't know what a switch is, it's not a light switch.
no, it sucks. Let's
Watch, read Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
You'll find out what a switch is.
Yes.
Which one? It's not the Lorax, it's the... the buttered toast one there.
Yes.
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 Read that one. You'll figure out what a switch is.
And I think, excuse me. Oh, I haven't slept yet today after work. I think that we're done.
Yep, I would say so.
Nothing else that I can think of.
Mm-mm.
All right. Yay! 21. Jazz hands. We're out of here.
Bye.